I'm going to record this. So we don't have PowerPoint because winging it is better. Okay. Does anybody know anything about push partners? Does anyone have one on the team yet? Yeah, Tigre. So we are going to talk about push partners because I think especially, well, I think both of us have successfully gotten each other where we are so far, and we're still alive and kicking. But also because there is a benefit to having somebody to connect with to help you grow your business and to help you through obstacles, struggles, challenges, difficulties, the things that will come. Let me turn this on. Maybe that'll help. Now we're not in the dark. So anyway, I want to go over what a push partner is, why it's beneficial. We're going to pipe in kind of together on the significance of them, especially no matter kind of where you are, especially finding somebody who's sort of equal in line with where you're trying to go and what you're trying to do, whether this is sort of a hobby, totally cool, that's fine, or whether this is a business and you really want to build and make an income from home. This wouldn't have worked had we not been on the same page, I don't think, because we would have slowed each other down at certain points, but we've always been in tow, even if we've gone through different struggles and trials at different times. And it's kind of really cool to have a push partner, number one, that wants to build the same way you want to build, and number two, that has kind of the same, not necessarily the same life as you, but the same sort of life as you. So if you are a mom, you have a little bit different struggles. If you're single, you have a little bit different struggles. If you're, wherever you are in life, kind of finding somebody who matches up well to you, which can be difficult, but you can also ask your upline coach, who do you think might be a good push partner for me based on what you know about my goals and me specifically and what I'm trying to build? And we can help plug you in with somebody too. So should I go over my experience with a push partner first? Sure. Or do you want to go first? Okay. So this girl is my push partner and has been in my life for like a decade.
That's longer.
Like a really long time. And when I started as a Beachbody coach, I said, you need to talk to this girl because I'm not like a fitness girl. I'm not like a nutrition girl. I want to be healthy, but it's not really my thing. So I pointed Lisa to Jen, and then anyway, I ended up signing up as a coach, and Jen started coaching at the same time. And so we're both coaches, but she was a personal trainer and she knows about nutrition. She cares about it. And so it was very interesting to join in a business together because we're very different from each other, but we have a lot of the same goals, lifestyle, background. It just made sense for us to kind of work together because we got each other. And I went through, she was always dedicated. She just has one of those push mindsets that just doesn't give up. And I'm very all over the place and emotional, and I don't know how we work so well, but we do. And so I went through lots of like times of like, I don't think this is for me. I don't really know, but I knew that I wanted it really bad. I wanted the success. I wanted to be able to pay off my student loans was really my biggest thing. And then last year, well, anyway, we kind of pushed each other. We moved ourselves along. I got about 8 months into the business, and then Johnny went away to paramedic school. I started an internship with my master's degree. My son started school, and my other one was going to daycare or childcare for the first time ever. And so I went through about a 3-month period of not really doing much with Beachbody and sort of just kind of feeling a little lost and confused in what my role was in helping people and how to help everybody and still feel like I could get through the day. So I didn't really do much. And then through that time, I did the one thing I kept doing was personal development. I listened to Chalene Johnson every day on the way to and from work, the National Wake Up Calls. And I think those are the two I lived off of, and conversations with her. And she was still working, and she was still moving forward, and she was still dedicated, and she still had this mindset. And I was just learning and taking things in, but I felt bad because I didn't really have a lot more to offer necessarily. And then in January, I was like, I think I have to be done. Like, I can't do this anymore. And she said, you have never quit anything. You're not a quitter. You're not a quitter. And I don't know what was so profound about that, because I've had that conversation. If only somebody could just put the most profound words in your head when you need them the most, it would be amazing. But we're so different from each other. So not everybody knows your profound words. So having somebody who knows you like a push partner does, because you build a relationship together and you get each other and you share life together, is huge, because they can sometimes pull those words up right when you need them that maybe somebody else can't provide, and speak truth into your life when you need it. And there was something about that sentence that day in that moment that made it go, she's totally right. And I swear to you, from January to now, my business has changed dramatically. The way that I think about who I am and how I move forward in this business, my success, whether it's where I want it to be or not, is completely changed, because I don't quit. And I keep that in my mind. The other thing she's constantly told me is rise above, overcome. That's what we do. This is how, this is how we get through life. Every single obstacle, every single challenge we've gone through, we rise above and we overcome. And so whenever I face all these crazy challenges and obstacles, whether that's in my personal life or my business, because you don't have less problems, you just figure out how to work through them differently. And hearing those words, rise above, overcome, you don't quit. It's like her words in my head have helped me to believe in myself when I didn't. And I think I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be here without a push partner. Okay.
I wouldn't either, actually, because while she doesn't quit things, I generally do. Like, I sit back and I think, gosh, how am I still with Beachbody? I should have quit a long time ago, because I just quit things. Like, if I decide to be driven, I'm driven. But whatever. I have a lot of things going on and a lot of reasons to focus elsewhere. So quitting seems like a very logical thing to do sometimes. And for me, I'm very independent, and I'm very like, hey, I got this. Like, no matter what it is, I'll do it on my own. I'll figure it out. I'm on my own. I don't really need anyone else, not because I'm so amazing, but because I don't like to count on people. I don't like them to count on me. And so the thing with Beachbody, though, is that this business, you can't run solo. And that was hard for me to learn, because I'm solo. Like, that's what I do. I have a husband, I have great friends, but everything I do by myself. And having a push partner has made it to where, number one, I don't quit. And I don't want to quit. But there are some days when I don't want to quit, but I also don't want to work. And I don't really want to quit, but I also don't want to rise above. And I don't want to quit, but I don't really want to invite. I don't want to quit, but I don't want to work out, right? Well, that's where a push partner comes in. And so I used to think, whatever, I've got this. Like, I don't need a push partner. Like a big brother, like checking over my shoulder, be like, did you send out your invites? But the thing is, at the end of the day, some days I needed someone to be like, hey, did you do your invites today? Because I did mine, and it was really hard, but I got them done. No excuses. Crap. Fine. Okay, I'm going and I'm doing them. And look at that. I sold a challenge pack, And if it wasn't for someone to be like, hey, Jen, are you on it? There are a lot of times when I would have quit under the disguise of not quitting. And a push partner is great for that. A push partner, my push partner, has also helped me learn to like set goals, right? I'm in Beachbody because I have these big goals of what I want to do, but setting small goals that are really attainable right now or next week or this month or next month was not something I'm really good at, but she is. And so having someone to help teach me some of the things that aren't my strengths has been priceless, because I wouldn't have come to those things on my own, to where I can set a goal and say, hey, I need to buy this soon, or I need my car fixed, or I need a new phone, or I want to go on vacation, or I'd like to be able to put this much in savings every single month, whatever it is. But she's good at breaking things down that way and being like, okay, if that's what you want to do, this is what your week should look like, and doing it in bite-sized pieces. That's not something I'm good at. And I never, ever, ever would have gotten good at it if it wasn't for a push partner to bring in her strengths along with mine. So I feel like I get the benefit of two brains and two passions in my business, and that's amazing. What else? Yeah. That's the main benefits to me.
So I guess the thing that that comes to play is that a lot of people in their business will choose. Tigra has found a push partner, and they work together on trying to work through. I think one of the biggest reasons is that supportive atmosphere, and that's like we do that in groups and we do that in challenges especially. And so we're working on our health and we're working on our nutrition, but we often have that option because whoever your upline coach is, they're not checking in with you every day. Hey, did you do what you need to do? Right? Like they're there to support you and they love you and they care about you and they believe in you, but they're not in your everyday. And a push partner is somebody who's a little bit more connected to your everyday, who can say, did you do what you need to do? Or how are you doing with overcoming this problem? Because they might know that a little bit better. Or being sensitive to your struggles enough to either challenge or support or whatever that looks like, which is not always an easy balance. And you kind of learn these like bumpy things together. And it's amazing. This is amazing too, is you watch one person go through some bumps and you're like, oh, they did it. Okay, so it's going to work for me too if I do it. And so it kind of helps you in those rocky times too, because the comparison game is very, very rough in this business. It's very easy to see all the things that everyone else is doing and how perfectly it seems to be working for them. But that's not me. I don't do that, which is why we are perfect push partners, because we're very different from each other. And it's amazing to be able to say, okay, I need to own me. And for her to say, I need to own me. And we can support each other and say, okay, what are you doing? We can learn from each other. We can grow from each other, but we don't compare to each other. And a comparison kills your dreams super fast because you're feeling so insecure while watching other people who seem like they're not insecure at all, when really that's a struggle for everyone no matter where they're at. It just changes what they're thinking about or struggling with. And so I think having a push partner allows you, when you're going through these struggles and challenges and cool things, even, you have someone to bounce great ideas off, work with, grow with, be strengthened by, get that individual one-on-one focus with. So it's very important, in my opinion, to either find a push partner to be able to connect with, or to make sure that you have someone in your life who's holding you accountable. And here's the other thing. The word accountability, especially as a Christian, used to scare me because it was a way for me to feel not good enough, because somebody else was going to come along and they were going to hold me accountable to all the things I was really sucking at that I needed to get better at. And so being held accountable meant like bad things all the time. You need to work on this. You need to get better at that. How are you doing with this? And then you have to be like, well, I didn't, and I didn't, and I didn't. And if you have an accountability partner in this business, it should never, if it makes you feel like that, and like, let's say you've said, I want to hit my Success Club this month, and they say, okay, how are you doing? It's week 2. Where are you at? And you're like, I have Success Club 0. And it convicts you, then something needs to change. Like, that's why we don't like accountability, because it reminds us that there's areas we need to improve. However, if you say, I hit Success Club 0, but I have done this, and this, you're not going to feel guilty. You're not going to, it's like memorizing scripture or doing your Bible study. You're going to feel guilty only if you didn't do what you said you were going to do. And so accountability is really important in this business, because sometimes when you're running your own business, it's not like a job you show up to. You don't have to be there at 9. No one's going to know whether or not you were. So having a push partner helps you to show up when you need to show up and to do what you said you were going to do. And it might not feel good, but the only way it won't feel good is if you're not doing what you really want to do. And if you have somebody who loves you and cares about you and is there to support you, and they're saying, you got to do this, you got to do what you said you were going to do, it's going to be motivating. And it's not going to be convicting unless you say, I'm going to stay where I am. And a push partner helps you without being over you or making you feel like they're better than you or whatever, or that they're in a different place than you. Even like me, sometimes I'm like, well, I've been in this 2 years. That probably feels really intimidating to somebody who's been in it for like 2 minutes. So it changes the dynamic in the atmosphere of how you speak to each other. Because sometimes it's like, still when I talk to Lisa, I'm like, but you don't get what it's like for me, way down here underneath you. So having somebody on an equal playing field also helps hold you accountable in a way where it's motivating and you're like, yeah, I could do that, versus defeating. is the word I think I was going for.
You definitely want to have someone who's a peer rather than like your leader or your like a blind coach somewhere, because then they're just instructing you on what to do rather than going with you, right? And so that's really important, because you can be told what to do all day long. You can go and get all the coach training. I mean, there's endless amounts of coach training to set you up for success, right? You already have that. But what you might not have is someone to sit next to you and say, okay, really, what are your goals? What are they? Like, what do you want? This month, this year, 5 years, what do you want? And then, okay, let's put our heads together and figure out the best way to get you to there. That's a lot different than having someone just tell you what to do. You know? You want someone who's going with you. And something that is super important too is someone that you are able to be really honest with, and that you feel comfortable sharing a little bit of life with, not just your business. Because like Catherine kind of touched on, you want someone that is kind of in the same phase of life as you, because you're going to have struggles that, like for us, like our kids, we both have kids and they're the same age and a lot of very similar personalities. So we when I'm like, I can't do Beachbody today. Like, at least, I don't know, I'll be up till 3 a.m. if that's what it takes, I guess, because this is what happened with Lorelai.
And sometimes realistically it means not today, and you can
and double tomorrow, whatever, right? Rather than someone maybe who doesn't have kids or has like the perfect kid and just or has a full-time nanny, or whatever, who's going to look at me and be like, excuses. So someone who you can be real with, so that way they can get to know you and realize what are your excuses and what's just real life, and where grace can be shown, and you have to be comfortable to be that person for them, to be understanding when that's needed. And then also to push them when that's needed. Because there have been times where she's like, Jen, remember your goal though. Like, you said you want Success Club 10. You're not really doing what you said you wanted to do. Like, how are you feeling about that? And those are sometimes hard conversations to have, but because we're comfortable with that, and I know when I give her my reasons why I'm not there, she can help me figure out what the excuses are versus what real life is. Because sometimes I get confused and I'm like, no, that's legitimate. Like, my hair did this woohoo thing today, so I called it off, right? She's like, Jen, but it's important that we can't fool ourselves sometimes, and to have someone who can believe in you, that is so powerful.
And to be teachable, I think, is another important one, that having a push partner helps you to be more teachable, because sometimes you feel like, okay, I got this, I could do this. And then you struggle with like, okay, but how do I learn from somebody else who doesn't quite get what I'm dealing with? Like, they don't get it. They're not in my life. They're not in my shoes. Totally true. But that doesn't mean that they can't offer you something in that moment. You have to be able to be teachable too. And sometimes that comes easier and better from a push partner than it does from a leader or from, somebody else just randomly on the page or whatever. So, especially just, I think as early as you can in this company, whether or not it's discount all the way to this is full time, making sure that you guys are plugged in, because the more distance and isolated you are from the team, from your just in general, the more distance and isolated you are in life, the more you start to really overwhelm yourself with the struggles that are very real and very, like she said, just very legitimate. And sometimes we need to be pulled out of that. A push partner is such a positive way to feel like you can overcome. I mean, if she had said that to me, before Beachbody, I would have been like, yeah, whatever. What does that even mean? Because I was in a really depressed place, and I felt like no matter what I tried, nothing succeeded. And I definitely was like, you don't understand. I mean, I just moved to this new state. I have no friends. I don't know anybody. I've gained more weight than I'd like to admit, and I just hide it under everything, and I just don't feel good. I'm unhappy. So what does rise above even mean? Where would I even start when you feel that low, that uncomfortable? Good neighbors out. Anyway, so I think that it is really important, the earlier the better, to have somebody who says, wait, where are you at right now? And personal development, always personal development. If nothing else, personal development. So find yourself a push partner, no matter where you are, no matter how much you're failing, no matter what you want to do, no matter how successful you are, no matter if you're the only one on the team hitting Success Club 30. We've had one of those before. And so wherever you are in this business, you need to be able to humble yourself enough to know you need somebody. We all need somebody. I mean, God made us very social and interactive, and we need people in our lives. And so I think the more you surround yourself with a believing, positive, encouraging, supportive atmosphere, who gets it, who gets where you are, the more you're going to thrive. And that doesn't have to mean thriving in this business. It means thriving just in getting through the things you're going through in life. And then also, I mean, it does correspond with business if you're serious about your business, but that's a whole nother story.
Yeah, but I mean, even if it's just, if you're, even if you're a discount coach, at some point you're not going to want to press play. Like, yeah, you got a discount. That only really excites you for so long, right? And then now you still got to get in shape. You still have your goals of fitness and health and nutrition and for your family. Having a push partner, even in just that, someone who can be real with you and know your goals very honestly, who can know your goals really honestly and help you get there. Because I'll be really honest, when it comes to my fitness, I love my husband a lot, but he's in way better shape than I am. And so when he's like, hey, babe, remember you said you're going to work out like 5 days this week? I'm like, you know what? Shh, hand me my cookie dough and sleep on the couch, right? He cannot be my push partner for my health and fitness. Like, it just doesn't work, right? Super ineffective. Also, divorce becomes very real. So you have to have someone, though. I do need someone who's like, hey, remember you wanted to work out 5 days. Where are you at? Like, I'm getting my workout in. I really don't want to. You should too. And it has to be someone who I can be really vulnerable with, that I can't divorce or make sleep on the couch. So it comes in handy whether you're a discount coach or a business builder or whatever it is. Like, we need people to help us reach our goals, because we don't. If we all did, we wouldn't be on this call right now. You would have found something before Beachbody that you just thrive in life and succeeded with, right? That would have just consumed you. And here we are. And not that this is bad, but we need it.
It does sound like it's bad.
It's not bad. I'm just saying that if we were already set up for success by ourselves, we'd be there already.
Right. Well, yeah, definitely. And I think along with that, whether you're in a place where you feel like you are super successful or you're not at all, it is amazing because those things come in waves. And so wherever you are, we need people at the top and we need people at the bottom. And we need to know that the people who are there at the bottom are going to help us move to the top. And that when we're at the top and we're kind of sliding, that people will be there to say, hey, either it's okay, this is a non-controllable, you can't do anything about this, or this is a controllable. What do we need to do to bring you back up to where you were at, And so having support is huge. Having people who know you well enough to say, you better stand up, you better buck up, you better put on your big girl panties, which I really hate when Lisa says that to me, but she has said that to me several times. But I need to hear it.
It's true.
So, push partners. Get one.
Yes. And it's okay that if you get bold and you think, okay, I'm going to ask so-and-so to be my push partner. I'm just going to do it. I'm going to be brave. And you're like, yes. And, a week goes by and you're like, oh, gosh, no. Just end it. Stop. Find a push partner that works, okay? Because, I've had a push partner who, not you, someone else was like, I really want to be a push partner. I'm like, okay, great. Yay. We have similar goals. Like, let's do this. And about 4 days in, she was like, oh, I overslept, blah, blah, blah. But would critique me about all this stuff. And it started making me really mad. Because I'm thinking, you're doing nothing, but you're telling me how much I should be doing. And it just was not a good match. It was just not. She didn't make me feel inspired. She didn't make me feel anything. And I obviously wasn't the fit to motivate her at all. And it was just not a good fit. And it's okay when you recognize that to say, this isn't really working out. I'm going to find a push partner that fits me better. And not to feel bad about that, because you have to have that connection that fits and that you can be vulnerable with and real with. And that's effective because, like I said, like I wasn't cutting it for her. Like whatever I was putting out there for her, she was just like, it's all right. I'm just going to keep sleeping. Right. And I was just getting angry. So you have to find someone that fits, and it's not going to be the first person that you try to be a push partner. I mean, maybe it will.
It might be.
It might be.
Yeah.
But it also might not be. And that's okay too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's a really good point. Yeah. So I have her.
Right.
You have your own TV show, honestly.
Oh my gosh! Imagine what would happen.
Never mind. All ideas.
I know, right? The creative expert over here is going to come up with some great ideas for our TV show. So, anyways, yeah, for sure, knowing that it doesn't have to be the first person you go to, and that you do have to match up, and that you do have to. Number one, you have to be able to accept the criticism and I wouldn't call that criticism. I mean, yeah, sometimes it is criticism.
Sometimes it's just a push. It's just a, hey.
What you're saying and what you're doing don't match up.
I remember when you were kind of like not doing Beachbody a whole lot. And during those conversations of when I was like, well, you don't quit, I remember saying to you, no, you're not quitting because you don't quit. And also you committed to this, remember? And going back to, this is why you want it. This is why you're in it. And it kind of wasn't a harsh conversation, but it was definitely a little bit stronger than we generally ever have about anything. But it was like, I know how important this was to you. Mm-hmm. And to just be like, yeah, I know you're having a hard time, just wasn't what she needed. And so it was important for me to be like, hey, kind of shake you out of it a little bit, just like you do for me, and just be like, remember why you're in this, remember your goals, remember what you want, and that you are able to do this.
Yeah. And I would also add to that be okay with the fact that you're going to go through a lot of learning and growing together, and that's okay. Because when I started as a push partner and a coach, I was it's okay. I'm sorry. That must be rough. Good luck. Tell me if I can help. And I very much cared, and I was super empathetic, but I did not know how to take someone and say, you know what? You're right. It does. It sucks bad. And you have to choose now, when it sucks, what you're going to do about it. Because guess what? There's going to be sucky stuff that keeps happening to you. And like I tell Jen now, I know I'm going to continue to have problems, but what I'm also going to continue to have is success. And prior to Beachbody, I didn't have that option. I would have life, and life would keep going on, and it wasn't a bad one. It's fine. It's great. It's good. I mean, there's lots of amazing things about life. But I didn't have anything that was like, I'm shooting for the moon. Like, I have something big that I am going to do with my life, and I don't want anything to stop it. So if I want to go to Africa, I'm going to go to Africa, and I'm going to help people, and I'm going to live in an orphanage for a month if I want to, and I'm going to take my kids, and I'm not going to worry about how much it's going to cost us because I want to go. And I don't want to feel limited by these things that kind of hold us back, financial burdens and, whatever, time, stress, jobs, student loans, car payments, whatever. I don't know, whatever people have. So I think it's really important to know that what you are working towards is creating something for you that you wouldn't have otherwise, and that makes it worth it. And having somebody who sometimes don't be sad if you're still in a place where you're like, well, you seem like a really good complainer. Right? I've been there. I've done it. I know what that's like. That is how I spent the first so long of my business, was just complaining and supporting, but not changing and not motivating. So be okay with the growth process. You do not have to have it perfect. You do not have to know it well. You learn with your push partner together. You grow off each other's strengths. I would say seek somebody out whose gems are a little bit different than yours even. Go with somebody who pushes you and motivates you, teaches you, drives you, reminds you, helps you, and refocuses you. And doesn't just say, it's okay. I know you had a heart. Your hair did the good thing. Because you're right. I mean, and I will say, if you don't, then you stay where you are when those times get tough. You don't ever, you move forward a little bit. You say, okay, I made a little tiny list that counts for something. Like, you actually have to to do more in your struggles than you ever thought you could. And that doesn't happen alone. That happens through personal development, your upline sponsor, and your push partner. Push partners are that one-on-one connect that you need. Connect. Wonder why I called my team that.
Weird.
That you have that just gets it. They get it. And you learn and grow together, and you support each other. You don't put each other down. You don't worry what the other person is going to think about you. You don't feel like you have to justify or explain yourself to that person because they know. And it's yours. It's your business, right? So find a push partner. That's a lot of information. And I think we mostly repeated ourselves because, like Doug Moss told me, who's Beachbody corporate, he said, this business is very simple and you're very much overcomplicating it. So here's the deal. Simplify it. Push partners need to happen. They're a positive thing for your business. That's it. He didn't say that. I added that last part. But keep it simple.